And when I was having those thoughts in my room, there was a moment where I was actually going to, God is real. And at the end of this video, I promise you, you'll see why. If this video comes across your For You page, or if you see it and you're watching it right now, there's a reason for it. Watch till the end, and I promise you, you'll understand everything. This video took me so long to make for some reason. If anyone knows me in real life, they know that I'm the last person to talk about religion or say anything about religion or speak about God or coming to God. I've always been the type to say or tell people that we are gods and we're able to do exactly what God does. But I was wrong, and you're about to see why. The last couple of months of my life has probably been the darkest. And I felt confused, I felt dark, I felt like I was walking around the world with a dark cloud over me. I felt like I was in a dream and my body's here, but my mind and my spirit wasn't. And I couldn't really explain it, but I just went every day thinking that it'll get better some way and somehow. As a kid growing up, I've tried every single religion, from Hinduism, from Islam, to Christianity, to spiritualism, every single thing. And the reason for that was I kept seeking, and it started as a kid. I always felt like there was more to this world. I knew there was more to this world, and I always wanted to find it, but I couldn't. When I was growing up, I stayed into Hinduism. I started practicing it. I started doing what I needed to do in that religion. And still, I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I felt like there was more to life. I felt like there was more to what's going on in my life, if that makes sense. So recently, the past maybe 2 to 3 years, I started practicing spiritualism. I started working with crystals, with idols. I started doing meditations. And I'm not talking about your typical meditations where you just sit down and meditate. I was leaving my body, and not astral projection. I was leaving my body and consciously going to places, working with entities, seeing entities. I saw demons, I saw angels, and that's how I know for a fact the spiritual realm is real, and it's a very dangerous place. And I was doing these practices, I was meditating every day, I was consciously thinking that I'm manifesting these things in my life, and I was going around thinking that I'm God. Like, I was going around telling people that they're gods, that we're all gods. And the reason behind that was I'm thinking that the same power that God has, the same power he has to create and do things in the world, we have the same power. But it's not true. It's not at all. God is the creator, and what we see in this world is a creation. We can never be like God. So like I said, I was practicing these dark things and these meditations and just working with certain things and working with crystals and entities and everything. And I was getting everything I wanted, but at the same time, I just felt like I was doing something wrong. But me seeing what I was getting from it and what I was manifesting, quote unquote manifesting, I couldn't stop at all. And I just felt there was more. I felt like what I was doing wasn't right, but again, I just continued to do it. So about a month ago, I just felt lost. I felt dark. I felt like my life had no purpose. I was actually walking around hoping that, God forbid, something happened to me, or I was just going to sleep hoping I wouldn't wake up. I'm just being very transparent. And I felt like I didn't want to live anymore. All of these meditations, all of these practices, it felt like it was wasteful. It felt like it wasn't doing anything for me. So in that moment, that night in my room, it was around maybe 9 p.m. I remember trying to go to sleep. And for some odd reason, I couldn't sleep. I just felt like a dark presence in my room just watching me. And I felt like a dark cloud over me. And in that moment, I had these dark thoughts that came into my head. These thoughts that I would have maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I was depressed and suicidal and just going about life feeling down. And when I was having those thoughts in my room, there was a moment where I was actually going to put those thoughts into action. And as I was about to, I just felt something in my mind. I just felt something say, no, you can't. I'm getting goosebumps right now as we speak about it. But yeah, I just felt that presence. And in that moment, again, I cried out. I literally cried out. I said, God, if you're real, save me right now. Help me. Help me. And as I said that, I sat on my bed and I felt, oh my God, I'm getting these goosebumps, the same feeling I'm getting again. But I had this feeling, like I had this weird feeling in the back of my neck as if someone just pouring water on me. And it was the happiest I've ever felt in my life. The happiness I felt from that was indescribable. I can't explain it. It just felt like something was in my soul, and It just felt like my soul was being renewed at that moment. And in that moment, I got up from my bed. I was gonna walk to the bathroom to like wash my face and everything. And as I got up from the bed, right here, like on the left side of me, there was a light, and the light came towards me. And again, that light came towards me. And in that moment, that happiness again came over me. It just felt like someone was just pouring water on me, pouring water inside of my body. And again, that happiness was so real. I can't explain it. Oh my God, I'm trying to think about it right now. But in that moment, when it happened and I got up from that, it took me about 3 to 4 minutes. And that moment, it was just a knowing that God is real and that God is Jesus. And I can't explain how I'm feeling or what I felt, but it's just a knowing. It's not a believe anymore. I don't believe God is real. I don't believe it's Jesus. I know for a fact it's Jesus. I saw him. I encountered him. He encountered me. And what I felt that day was indescribable. And the reason I'm saying this is, like I said, I practiced so many dark things. I practiced so many worldly things. I was into meditations, quantum physics. I was manifesting. I was doing things with my mind that people wouldn't even think is possible. And while I was doing all of that, I'm thinking, I'm a god. We're all gods. We're all capable of doing this. And I didn't realize that it was taking me down the wrong path. And as I was doing that, my whole goal, especially the last year, was to disprove Christianity, disprove the Bible, and disprove Jesus. I always said that God is man-made and Jesus is man-made, the Bible is man-made. But since that happened to me, ever since that day, the same research that I would research these other topics, these other spiritual stuff, I used that energy and I used that research into Jesus, into Christianity. And again, it just showed that everything points to Jesus, that he's the only way. What I was doing was worshiping a creation. I was worshiping these crystals, these idols, these things of the world. I was worshiping creation, not the creator. And God is the creator. We are the creation. Everything in this world is the creation of God. We aren't God. You'll hear a lot of gurus, a lot of spiritualists saying that they're God and we're all gods, but we're not. And there's one simple reasoning for this. If you ask anyone that claim they're God and ask them the meaning of life, they'll still tell you they don't know. No one knows the meaning of life. So how are we gods with not knowing the meaning of life? That makes no sense. God is omnipresent. He's the all-knowing. He knows everything. So how are we gods if we don't know the meaning of life? It doesn't make sense at all. So when that happened to me, I remember the next day, I just felt like what I was practicing was not the right thing. And I remember I had maybe $2,000 to $3,000 worth of crystals and necklaces and these things I used to meditate and leave my body and stuff like that. I'm going to show it right now. Look at all this stuff. I remember going to the water. I left my house. I went to the water and I threw everything out. I just had that feeling like I need to get rid of that. And I started diving deep into the Bible. I started reading the Bible. I started researching God, started researching Christianity. And it proved to me that Jesus was the only way. He was the truth. He is the truth and the only way. It's so funny. It was so cloudy. And as soon as I said the word Jesus, it's like literally sun pouring into the car. But yeah, when it happened, I remember going deep, just deep researching, still trying to like go into my mind and say, you know what? Let me find something that's probably showing that it probably isn't Jesus. It probably isn't God. But the more I researched, the more I dug into it, it just showed me that Jesus was the only way. He's the truth. Like they say, he's the truth, the light, and nothing else. And what I would research before was deep things. I would research past civilizations, the Anunnakis, the Sumerians, Egyptians, and everything. And what I noticed is that they don't have similar stories to the Bible. A lot of people think that the Bible copied these stories, but if you really read into it and not just watch these people on the internet, watch these gurus talk about it, you'll see for yourself that the Bible is original and the stories in the Bible are original. And the more I looked into these religions, these practices, Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism, spiritualism, everything, they all believe in Jesus. They all use the name Jesus, which is so weird. But in Christianity, when you worship Jesus, Jesus doesn't talk about them. So there's something there. And I'm saying this to say that you don't have to be Christian. What you have to do is develop a relationship with God. Develop a relationship with Jesus Christ. Because again, me, out of all people, to say that God is real and Jesus is real is so surprising. If anyone knows me, again, they will know that I'm not the religious type. I don't care for religion. I never cared for religion or God or anything. I grew up in religion and I just strayed away from it. And it just came back full circle on me, and it just surprised me. So ever since it happened, I started again diving deep into the Bible, started praying more, and I just gave up everything. I gave up all of my beliefs to God. I gave it to Jesus. I had so much faith in him. I had faith that he is God and he will help me. And ever since then, I've been so much lighter inside. I felt so much more happier. I feel as if I have purpose now in my life. And I know it sounds so simple, but it gave me clarity for some reason. It gave me a sense of knowing that specific thing that I was seeking since I was a kid. The meaning of life and just the meaning of everything. The thoughts that I had as a kid of why are we here and what are we doing and everything. It was answered when I put my faith in Jesus. And in the Bible it says, who has ears to hear, let him hear. And it's so true. When that experience happened to me and I started reading my Bible, no matter what page I turned to, it just felt like God was talking to me. Whatever situation I was thinking about, whatever situation I was in, it just felt like God was speaking to me in that moment. And again, I never felt a sense of clarity before in my life until that moment. I've never been so happy. I've never been so clear-minded and feeling this way. And the weirdest part is, ever since I gave my life back to Jesus, a lot of people notice it and they don't even know that I'm back worshiping God and that I have a relationship with Jesus. Everyone that's seen me recently, that knew me for years, they're like, Rossi, you look so different. Like, you don't look stressed, you look lighter. And in my mind, I'm like, wow, God, like, you're real. Like, you are real. Jesus, you're real. The thing that makes me so sad and it's kind of hard to forgive myself is that after everything I put myself through, after all the things I've been through, speaking down on God, speaking down specifically on Jesus, I just felt like I couldn't forgive myself. And about a week ago, I was able to forgive myself. And what kind of hurt me the most is that, again, I really try to disprove religion, but specifically Jesus. For some reason, I kept trying to disprove it. It just hurt me that I was doing that, knowing that he was still there protecting me, knowing that he was still watching over me. And I knew that people's prayers, people I knew that were praying for me, I knew their prayers were working. I knew it was because of them that I was still here and all of these bad things didn't happen to me. And I know that's why I didn't take my life. I didn't attempt to do what I did before or attempt to even try anything dark again. I knew it was people's prayers. I knew it was people that I knew who was praying for me. When I was telling these people, my friends, specific people, what happened to me and how I gave my life back to Jesus, they were telling me that they were praying for me the past years. They saw me in a dark spot. They saw me. They couldn't recognize me. They felt as if it wasn't me, but they didn't want to tell me anything because I was so caught up in my head thinking that what I was doing was right. I was just thinking, yeah, I'm meditating, I'm manifesting, I'm doing all of these things. What else do I need? What else do I want? But in reality, you need God. You need Jesus. Because at the end of the day, there is a heaven, there is a hell. I've seen it and I know it's real. And it's not a place of time. There's no time in heaven or hell. It's eternity. And people think that death and eternity is in front of us and right there, but it's really not. We can step into death by tomorrow. We can step into death now in the next minute. So that's why I'm saying we need to get better and we need to get closer with God. We need God in our life because we'll always fall short of sin. We'll always fall short in front of God. God is holy. Jesus is holy. No matter what we do and how much we do, we'll always fall short. So that's why I say we need to repent. We need to give our life back to God. We need to walk with God. We need to pick up our cross and walk with God. Give up these worldly things because these are just temporary. What is it that a man loses his soul to gain the world? It makes no sense. We have all of these material things now, but what happens in eternity? What happens when you leave here? And I know there's many beliefs like reincarnation, like past lives and all of these things. All of these things I believed in. I was practicing all these things. I was into Buddhism. I was into meditation. I was into spiritualism. I was into Islam. I was into Hinduism. I was into these things. But I knew that in the back of my mind, something felt off. Because think about this, in reincarnation, if you keep coming back, that makes no sense. What is it that you die, come back, die, and come back? And they say that you come back because of your karma, but again, that's not real. Because if you reincarnate, that had to start from somewhere. Where did it start from? Where was your first life? Where was your first life started? It had to start from a creator. There is a creator. Look around the world. Every single thing has a blueprint to it. The world is perfect just for us. If the world changes in any small single way, civilization will end. The sun shines at the right distance to keep us alive. The moon stays there to keep us alive. The earth on its axis stays on a certain position to keep us alive. There's order to everything. There's order in this world. For example, if you look around and you see these buildings, you know that there's a builder, but you can't see him at the moment, but you know there's a builder. It's the same thing with the world. God made us. God is the creator of this world. These gods that we were worshiping, these gods that I was worshiping and other people worship, are just fallen gods. They're fallen angels. And what fallen angels are, they were once with God, but they went against God. They wanted to be like God, and they came down. They fell to earth. And these fallen angels are what you see today in religion, these different religions. That's why in these religions, there's so many sacrifices. There's so many things you have to do to get what you want. You have to do good deeds in certain religions to meet God, to get to God. But in Christianity, God is getting to you. He's trying to reach you. He's trying to show you that you're not an enemy. You are a friend, and he's here to save you. But I just know that the content I'm going to start making now is not what I used to make. I was streaming, I was doing so many things. And I even had another channel with spiritualism, showing meditations and how to meditate certain meditations. I made videos on how religion is fake, how God is fake, Jesus is fake, every single thing. And I had to get rid of it. It was doing really well, but I had to get rid of it. My goal now is to help others. It's to help people that think that there's no help. There's no hope. There's no help. They're lost, and that's not true. God is trying to reach you, because Jesus says in the Bible that he goes after that lost sheep. And I was that lost sheep. I was that person that he was going after. All of these things that I was doing, he was still there with me. He was still trying to get me. He reaches people like us, people that, look, I have tattoos, I wear hats, I do all of these things. And I started church on Sunday. I went to church just like this. I feel like that's what church is supposed to be about. Not caring about how you look, not caring about the church itself, but the relationship with God, the relationship with Jesus. And that's what it should be about. So today, I challenge you. Give your life to God. Just say a simple prayer. Just close your eyes and ask God to encounter you. Ask God to show you who the true God is, who the highest power is. And I know for a fact he's coming back soon, and I know that's why he reached me. And I know that's why he's trying to reach you. All you have to do is answer the call. You need to just pray, repent. It's not about religion. It's about relationship with God, relationship with Jesus Christ. He's the only way. He's the truth and the light. If you told me a year ago I'll be making a video like this, I'll look at you and literally laugh. I'll tell you, I'll literally just ignore you and just think you're crazy. But it's so crazy. It's so weird how God works. He literally goes after that lost sheep. And I think about that every single day, how the things I was doing, he was still there. I should have been unalive so many times, the things I was doing. Like driving, walking, places I would go. I just knew that if he wasn't with me, I wouldn't be here right now. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're still here, please leave a comment or something. I really appreciate you guys for watching. It was so hard for me to make this video for some reason. I felt like everything was just stopping me from the moment I was driving to the ideas or how I'm going to make the video, everything. But I said to myself, I'm just going to set up the camera and just speak. And I thank you guys for listening. If the video was all over the place, I apologize. It'll get better. It'll get more clearer. It'll have more clarity to it. But I gave up a lot of things. I gave up so many things. And because of that, I'm seeing the fruits of God in my life. My anger is less. My rage is less. I had so much anger in me. I remember I'll be driving and if somebody cuts me off, I'll chase them. Things that I wouldn't even think that is me, I'll do. When I used to get angry, I would just black out and not even remember things. And recently, I don't have that anger anymore. I feel so calm. And just a lot of things went away ever since I gave my life back to God. I thank you so much for watching today. And I promise you, there'll be so many more videos coming. So please get right with God. God is real. And you are loved by God. You are God's child, and he's calling you. So please answer the call. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. It'll help me out so much in reaching other people. So remember, you are loved by God. Take care, and God bless you.